Hey, it can't be bad news because Caleb Downs is a Cowboy, and Cowboys and Coffee is back with another one of our favorite additional hosts, Kane Ward. Kane, we're glad you're here, bro. Thanks for coming on. We did it.
Abs-
We made it to the draft and we got Caleb Downs. What could be bad? All is well in the world.
there's nothing wrong with the post Micah thing. I mean, the Caleb Downs, like we talked about the first time I was on here. Did I expect him to slip to us? No. The
No.
fact that he slipped to us is incredible. And obviously we love the upside. Obviously, ignore Skip Bayless. 3 years, zero touchdowns allowed. What's not to love? I don't think
Yeah.
Talib ever did that. Ever. You mean to tell me you played defensive back, safety, kickoff return, punt return, and didn't allow a single touchdown? That's unheard of. Now, obviously, it does help that George Pickens signed his tag.
Now that kind of
Hey,
leads me into what I want to talk about here. And
yeah,
Dee, I'm going to go to you.
yeah.
It's been a very quiet, relatively speaking, offseason for the Cowboys. They've done their job. They've done right by, I think, Cowboys fans. He talked about making a big splash in free agency, but they did what they should have done in free agency. And we saw a master class with the draft. And now the Micah Parsons trade is complete as far as what we've acquired for those picks. Caleb Downs now, because they had such a bad season, they were able to pick Caleb Downs there, right? Then they're flipping it and getting Malachi Lawrence, Quinton Millions, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, and D Winters out of all the stuff, which Jerry and Steven said they can get 4 or 5 guys from moving on from him. D, are we better now that Micah Parsons is gone and all those guys have come in?
On paper, yes. Until we see the W's. Listen, you, we thank the Giants. We thank the Redskins. They passed over those guys because that was the two teams that Downs could have went to. General already. He went to military school and came out a general already. That guy knows the playbook already. He makes everybody better. It's a different tone in the building, but it better come into W's. It's got to
Mhm.
come into doubles. On paper, everything. Christian Parker on paper, this on paper, that play on it, Gary on paper, all on paper, I got it. W's. K, KW, W's.
Absolutely. Now the fact that we were able to get D Winters, which if you look at his tape, it's remarkable. I
Remarkable.
mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Rodriguez kid, but do I love getting D Winters? Yes. For me,
Mhm.
it was either we get a linebacker from somebody else or we take the Rodriguez kid. Did I love Lawrence? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. You always need pass rushers. But we addressed a linebacker position that was in tatters.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I really like to thank the Giants twice, if not 3 times, because if they don't beat the Cowboys at the end of the season and the Cowboys get another win out of that game, which was totally meaningless for the Cowboys, Dallas probably doesn't have the ability to make the jump up to get Downs, or it costs them significantly more to get him. So they beat
Right.
Dallas and
Right.
give him a better pick. They skip out on, we've talked about this before. They're going to play Arvell Reeves as an off ball linebacker, and then they're going to place Maui Noah as a guard. You should have taken Sonny Styles if you want an off-ball linebacker, and then you could have sunk the Cowboys' whole draft if you take Downs there at 10. Cowboys are in a trade-out scenario. You're like, wow, we were washed out of all the elite defenders, but they did it. So thank you, New York Giants, for what you've done for the Cowboys, and they have allowed Dallas to pick who I think is the most transformative player in this draft. Now they get him, and the question goes back: Are we better off now? Are we better without Micah Parsons? And I think by the pieces that they have accumulated, I have to say yes, they were right. They got Downs, and they didn't get Downs from a traded pick. They got him because they were so bad and they were there. They get Lawrence and Williams and Gary and Clark and Winters. Micah Parsons was never going to make the difference in a run game that these guys are now. He was never going to make the difference across the board that these guys have been able to or will be able to, especially with this defensive scheme. Kane, are you where are you now post everything with Micah Parsons? Everything's done. How are the Cowboys going forward?
Well, I'm a back D up. Obviously, on paper, everything. I mean, you couldn't have done a better job, especially with the George Pickens situation. For a minute there, we were wondering, hey, is he going to stay at Cowboys? Is he going to sign the tag? First, it was he signed the tag, then he didn't sign the tag. Trade value, this and that. So I'm glad we got that done. One, because it tells me a couple things. One, it tells me we're not going to make an Amari Cooper situation again. And then
Right.
two, it also signifies that hey, maybe George does want to be here, and I think at some point they do get a long-term deal done. But as far as cap space right now, we have a flexibility that we haven't had in quite some time.
It allows us, if we need that camp starter to go in, if we need to get an offensive tackle, because now I'm not trying to sign an offensive tackle now. We have young tackles. We drafted one. Backup tackles is what I mean, who need those camp reps to grow with this up with Clayton Adams, who I trust developing offensive linemen. If we want to add someone like a Joey Bosa down the road in camp as a veteran edge rusher, we have the ability to do so. And we'll see what happens. Now it'll be fun to actually pick someone and say, I don't need you to be prime Joey Bosa. I need you to be just a difference maker once in a while. D, are we better off? Not are we better without Micah Parsons? Are we better off without Micah Parsons now too?
Well, you said it earlier. I believe it was yesterday, even could have been today, because I talk to you guys all the time. We have no drama for Michael Parsons. We have solid people coming in. And listen, I don't like. I'm not going to tell you. I was upset when he got what happened. Of course, I wanted him to stay, but there's a different tone in the building. Different tone. You walk into a restaurant. If your waiters or waitresses are frowning, that means the management sucks. It's a different
Absolutely.
tone in that building now. That head coach got what he wanted. Now that defensive coordinator, we're gonna be coached up to play defense. They know what they're gonna do on offense. And thank you, Pickens. Thank you, Pickens. You came as a good sign there. Get what I'm saying? A good sign. There's some maturity there. You didn't play the drama and the false reporting of that whole thing about him not resigning, blah blah. We'll come back. We'll come back to you another day on that false reporting. Put in. There's no drama in the building. They're focused to win again.
I think they've moved past this drama. Let me tell you something when I think about Micah Parsons. Get this bum off my team!
Yeah,
I'm done!
yeah,
We have Micah Parsons!
I agree.
You suck! You
I
stink!
agree.
Get out
I
of here!
I agree. Now he talked about free agency and Joey Bosa. Obviously, when you look at the free agency, there's a lot of talent still left. And don't
There
get
is.
me wrong, I know he's up there in age, but if you wanted to shore up your linebacker core even further, why not pick up the phone and call Bobby Wagner?
And
Yeah.
someone talked about if you're going to develop these young guys and you don't need him to play a lot, but you want him to be a coach on the field or effective in small doses, Bobby Wagner is the call, right? Can you have a better coach, a better mind in the field right now? Anyone's a free agent than Bobby Wagner?
And the fact that he can still play at an all-pro level.
Yes.
Keep in
Yes.
mind, he had a great season last year. It's not like, oh, he's on the back end, he's on the back nine, he's falling off. He's still producing at a high level.
Right. You know, there's still guys out there. If you want to add a Joel Bitonio, you want to add a veteran line, you know what I mean? You still want to add a Von Miller if we're talking about a guy just as a rush specialist who can help the guys. You know, we Adoree Jackson came in this week to look at. They still have a roster spot available, and I think we finally are in a place where it's exciting to think who that person can be because we don't need them to do anything besides specialize in whatever area they're in, right? Adoree Jackson is a depth piece now rather than us bringing in a veteran who's like, we got to have you perform. Well, we're paying we're underpaying the market and expecting this guy to come in and play like he's all pro. No, now we get someone, whoever it is, Rasul Douglas. Cameron Jordan's still a free agent.
Yeah.
Like someone to just come in,
Oh yeah.
elevate this team, championship experience, elite play experience, like you're talking about, D. The culture, which has changed drastically without that clown Micah Parsons. I noticed the podcast been very silent, right? Not the same
Oh
podcast
yeah.
in Green Bay as it is in Dallas.
Not so much. So let me give you a story back in the first Super Bowl with Herb Adderley coming from Vince Lombardi's Packers, coming on the team, and he was that missing ingredient to put the Cowboys over the top in the Super Bowl in that season. Playing for Vince Lombardi and Tom Landry, that was a player that came in with some rings, as they say, and he had the rings. He had the championship character, and he was one of the leaders that people really don't know about in the locker room. They said, listen, we're going to win a Super Bowl. We're going to get this done. And guess what?
And Vaughn
People don't
has
realize.
two. Vaughn
Yes.
has two of them. Bobby has one.
Yeah.
And I think at the very least, I think we know Vaughn wants to play for the Cowboys at some point. And this is
Texas.
shot.
Yes.
This is it. A&M boy, like, come on, man. This is the shot for him.
There's no wrong move as far as free agency goes. Like you said, you definitely could go a veteran guard. Obviously, you've got several all pros still hanging around, still available. Now, I will say this. I think how far we go depends on if the offensive line can hold up. Obviously, don't get me wrong, we've got some studs there, but my main concern is Guyton. That's what scares me.
Let me tell you guys. Go ahead. Go. You elaborate. Elaborate.
Yeah, Guyton is a weak point.
I don't like.
He's a weak point.
Excuse me. Keep talking. I got to take care of some business.
Go ahead. Let me tell you what I'm worried about here. I'm worried about what happens if Javonte Williams goes down and has to miss some games because do we trust Jaden Blue or Phil Maffa or Malik Davis or one of the other guys to step up? And I know you say, well, in this offense, you can kind of do something. Worried about pass protection, worried about Dak, worried about who that next guy up could be. Listen, I would love
Joe Mixon is sitting at home right now.
that the Cardinals have so many running backs, right? They drafted Jeremiah Love, they have Tyler Algier, they have James Conner, they have Trey Benson. They're gonna walk into the season with those four guys. No, cut them, or you want to trade a future 6th-round pick or 7th-round pick to get one of those guys. I would gladly take a James Conner for a 7th-round pick as a backup back who I could trust, who knows Clayton Adams in his system. Like he has best years under Clayton Adams. I would take him in a heartbeat. And I really want that second back. And you're like, oh, what does it matter? Second backs matter in today's NFL. Williams was banged up a little bit last year. I don't want any drop off. I want that offense humming like it has been. We all know the Cowboys are 15th defense. They are a Super Bowl contender this year. 15th best. That's it. 15, 16, 17. They're NFC conference game contender because that's how great the offense is. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can see them definitely making a run for the playoffs. Like I said, will I say contender just yet? I'll hold off just because, hey, Dak, when the lights is bright, you gotta give me something. You gotta give me something. We can't keep doing first round exits and I'm paying you 60, 70 million a season. You gotta get me there.
I said that earlier in 2 podcasts ago. I said, okay, we got the general now. The general is that quarterback. Everybody believes in him. And again, we're saying on paper what they have. They're a different. It's a different tone in the building. And tone to me, and I tell you, when I walk into restaurants or in an office, the tone is everything of having a winning, successful restaurant or a business. If people are ready or close unit and they play hard for each other.
which
Yeah,
is obviously
I love.
something we didn't have last year.
I want our Tom. Paul, like I said, Paul Bowles and guys, I want our Tom Coughlin. That's what I want. Give me a couple Super Bowls. Give me a Tom Coughlin dynasty. I'll take it.
yeah. So so I do think Shoddy has really now put his fingerprint on this team. We saw a fingerprint on the team last year. Now we've started to see their fingerprint defensively. I worry there's one other place we haven't talked a lot about. That is special teams.
Yeah.
Cavante
Oh,
Turpin has to have a bounce back year. I know he was voted second team All Pro, but I think Cowboys fans know it was not the Turpin we've seen the years before. And there were a lot of plays, especially punt returns, were like, what is this guy doing? Right? There are several times like, what is going on here? Brandon Aubrey's Brandon Aubrey. We got him re-signed long term. You really can't be mad. I don't know that I could be mad about that. Anger is a solid punter, and our long snappers. The best thing about a long snapper is when you never hear about him, he's on your team for 15 years. That's good news. Turpin has to step up, and we have someone like Moore who you draft a young kid who is a speed burner, and if I trust the Cowboys, it's to develop special teamers. Where where are you guys on Turpin coming into this season?
Well, Turpin's got to perform just to keep a roster spot, just to keep a job, really. Because and don't get me wrong, you don't. Are there a bunch of Devin Hesters running around? No. Let's be honest. Those type of guys you find every once in a while. But for Turpin, he's got to perform now. One, and we know he can. We've seen it. So it's like, okay, I don't know if your offseason regimen has to change or something mentally has to change, but for you to stay on this roster past this season, you got to give us something. You either got to give us something in special teams or you got to be a gadget player or you got to be a I'm trying to remember his name. I'm trying to remember his name. He used to play for the Falcons, played running back, kick returner, receiver. Oh,
Cordell Patterson.
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Cordell
Turpin,
Paris. Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to be at
Yeah, he
least
was
a
a beast
Cordell.
too. He's a big dude. Yeah.
You got to be at least.
Yeah, and he was all pro many times. Yeah.
So Hester's definitely the
All
best,
right. So you want me?
but Patterson's probably the best punt returner ever. Like his numbers are silly. Go ahead, D. Go ahead.
Um, are we talking about somebody who made all pro?
Go
Now,
ahead.
let me tell you something. They kept the head coach, special team coach, and they fired his unit guy, who's been with the Cowboys a number of years. They fired him. Not Spillman. Son, you know his name. He's been around with the Cowboys for a long time. You'll look it up and you'll see they fired him. They fired the unit coach as one of the assistants and kept the head coach. I don't like the head coach of special teams. Did not like it. Somehow the league thought enough to Turpin that they put him on all pro. We need some bigger plays out of that unit. That's for sure. That's what we need. And we got to make sure that kicker earns his money as well. He got paid the big bucks. Him and his girlfriend or wife, wherever he's got on the side there, I'm sure she's happy too. But guess what? You better continue to start kicking those 65-yard field goals and not miss the easy ones.
I'm not.
KW.
I'm not really worried about our kicker per se. I mean, that dude's been automatic. I don't, unless something drastic happens, knock on wood, I don't think that's gonna change per se. But to your point, you do need an elite special teams. You need the big play potential because there's gonna be times where the offense stalls out. It's just part of the game. It happens. So
It changes
you need
momentum in the
all
game.
three
That's what it
units
does. Right.
in cohesion.
Right.
That's right.
And you have to remember 2010 Chargers, number one offense, number one defense, dead last special teams missed the playoffs at 9-7. I'm not suggesting the
Oh,
Cowboys
that was a disaster. Remember? That's right.
and the Cowboys special teams isn't.
They were disaster. That Chargers
Yeah,
special teams was a disaster.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about, there's three phases, and the Cowboys need I think not just better kick returns, they need better coverage on their kicks. Think about this though. This is a good place to be for the
You
Cowboys.
got to give the Bears credit when they went to the Super Bowl. Number one special team in the league.
It matters. It matters. But I think that shows
Oh, wow.
where the roster is now or where we feel as fans that the Cowboys are now. Offensively, I think we all feel very confident. We know Steele and Guyton have to play better, but if they can play a performance they did last year, I think we'd all feel pretty comfortable if they're humming at that level now in year two. Defense, we've done a lot to revamp and add depth and do things where we feel like, okay, they could be. No one's saying this is the Doomsday Three. No one's saying this is the Steel Curtain or the Purple People Eaters, but respectable,
Mhm.
respectable with X's and O's and James and Johns and Joes, right? The players are there, the scheme is there. Now we're talking about like, okay, our special teams. That's a great place to be for Cowboys fans. Well, I feel great. I feel good about this season. Excited for the like. I'm excited. Matt Eberflus is not on this team.
Yeah,
I can't.
that was a train wreck.
You
That,
know, I do.
that was an absolute train wreck.
I think
Yeah.
the big thing about Turpin not being on here is the assurgence of Ryan Flournoy. He played well down the stretch. D, talk to me about Flournoy and what you expect out of him going into this offseason, not the regular season. What do you expect to see in the offseason? You're catching up.
Well, the thing with him is he came on so strong. He finally caught up with the system. He's got that year underneath him now. And that third one, you get 8 touchdowns out of him on that third receiver. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I think he's met the maturity level on knowing your offense is so important. The trust that Dak has in him, that's the other part now. That's what you learn as a quarterback, who you throw the ball to. Pickens, and Lamb, it's automatic with that trust.
Yeah.
But when you have that third one down at the inside the 20-yard line, because they were not scoring inside the 20, they were not top ranked in scoring. They struggled down there. So between him improving on that area and another tight end free agent is going to be a Pro Bowler coming on that team, that'll about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm
Well,
not
how
going.
much time do we have left?
We have like 8 minutes left. Let me get.
Now I'm not gonna lie. That tight end that they brought in as an undrafted, that dude is a unit.
Yeah. He's making a roster. He's making a game day roster.
Whew.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
he like 6'7"?
Listen, let me tell you why I like him. Because they didn't draft him in the first round of the NFL clergy draft. They got him as an undrafted free agent in
Yep.
football draft. If I was drafting someone to be a fellow clergy member, I would not draft him. If I'm drafting someone or picking someone as a free agent that I want to be on my football roster, I'll take him. That's
Yeah.
what I want. That's why I want him. If the Cowboys wanted first pick of the clergy draft, I'm on I'm on the board, but it's not. I want a guy who can go out and ball, who's going to be catching
Yep.
passes in the seam from Dak, and that's Trigg. He's nasty.
Yeah, Trey
Comes
is.
off the field good. Come be nasty here for the Cowboys and win for us.
Yeah. Like I said, I think we got a shot to win on paper, as D said. But like I said, the pieces are now in play. You have to execute now
That's it.
because the window is now. The
Yes,
window is not next season or the season after that.
Paul?
If you don't execute right now, that window is closed.
correct. D, go for it. What do you got?
So let me talk about the Eagles real quick.
Go ahead.
The Hurts thing, there's too much whispers on that unit. Besides A.J. Brown, too many whispers on Hurts. The Redskins, they've got rid of that offensive coordinator. It's a bad set tone right there. They got rid of the coordinator, and they didn't like that right there. And the Giants are nowhere to be found. They don't have an offense, and they don't have a defense. Remember what Neighbors said? He got up off the couch and go, man, I got to play against that guy twice a year.
No,
Thank
he
you,
said, I got to
Neighbors.
play against this thing again.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that lets you know exactly
Yes.
who Caleb Downs is. He didn't
Yep.
refer to him as a person. He referred to him as an object.
Yes, it is. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Good point. That's right.
And
Yep. A monster.
the Giants, for all the love that Cam Scattybo got last year, He's recovering from an open ankle dislocation, a ruptured deltoid, and a
Oh,
fractured
please.
fibula. That is not just a regular recovery, right?
That's a clear ender.
No, it's
That's a
not.
huge injury, right? And you know, what does it look like on the back end? I know on the front end it looks like a serious injury, and you would prefer that your running back doesn't look like that. I
Yeah,
know it also looks like the Giants were looking at running backs all offseason. They tried to sign Kenneth Walker. They talked about drafting Love if he was there. He wasn't there. You know, Tyrone Tracy's not a bad
yeah.
running back, but in this offense, they're going to beat those running backs to death with John Harbaugh calling the plays or running the team. Listen, all I can tell you is I'm not drafting Scatterbo in the first couple rounds of
Nah,
my draft in the fall.
nah, nah,
I'll take a flyer on Tracy and get a good couple of weeks out of him and trade him
nah.
to some sucker by
To
week
be
five.
to be honest with you, I'm not drafting Kenneth Walker either.
I agree. Not
Mm,
that he's with the Chiefs, but I don't trust him in that same offensive scheme.
mm.
Now, did I hear that Kansas City was going to start Justin Fields? Do I think that's going to be interesting? Yes. Do I think that Andy Reid can pull something out of him that maybe other people couldn't? Absolutely.
Yes.
No, he's going
Yeah.
to start a
Yeah.
game for the
It's
Chiefs
true.
in week 15 for them when Mahomes has a bad ankle. And next year, Andy Reid's going to trade him for a second rounder to Minnesota and, get
Well,
another.
it's been done in the past. Yeah.
Listen, we're going to 4 minutes left.
Mhm.
Uh, let's get one more thing you want to talk about. If there's anything else you want to talk about, D, before we finish up, and then we'll go to Kane.
Mhm.
Well, I think that the whole building's excited. We'll come out with the strength of schedule. They said it's one of the toughest schedules. I think that's always overrated myself. What you go against each week is who's injured and who's not. You go against a team that the quarterback is out. It's a better game for you to win. I think that stuff is overrated. And I'm looking forward to the schedule and see what comes up because KW, I think it's time to visit Dallas this year. That's all I got to say. You might
Oh
see
yeah,
some visitors. You might see some visitors this year.
that's
So we
fine with
go out and
me.
have a good time. All
That's
right.
fine with me. Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna elaborate on the point you made earlier with my son, where you talked about the Hurts and the AJ Brown. My prediction is AJ Brown and Hurts are gone after this season if they don't perform.
Of course.
Both of them are gone
Bye bye.
Listen,
because you got to understand this is the last guaranteed year of Hurts contract.
That's right. They didn't extend it. Nope, they haven't. They didn't get it done yet.
It's not going to get done if he doesn't put up the numbers.
That's right.
and if they trade AJ Brown and get draft capital for him, like an extra first round pick, or a second round pick in the draft, you'll have the capital to move up in next year's draft, which is a QB heavy draft to get the guy for the Eagles. They're moving on from it. He don't put up this year. And people thought, oh, you wouldn't do that. They moved on from Carson Wentz, right? They picked
Yeah.
a quarterback in the second round. They had Carson
Yeah.
Wentz.
Oh yeah. Carson Wentz. Remember them?
Hey,
KW. Let me tell you something.
be careful. If Philly ends up with Arch Manning, that's going to be a problem.
Let me tell you something. What team calls me? The Eagles call me. You're at my mercy. I don't have to give up a hot top pick for the AJ Brown. So that's where I'm looking at.
Well, if you want a top,
That's what I'm looking at.
sure, but they're
You got to give up at least
Yeah.
one.
at least a two. But I'm saying, I think they get a one for him. Listen, we got 2 minutes left. Give me a shout out to one person before you go off. One person you're shouting out, home, whatever.
Man, I obviously got to shout out. Well, really, to both of y'all, you and Bill for even allowing for this opportunity to even take place after what happened last week, which was a complete disaster. But also, I got to give you guys a lot of love
Yeah, that was weird.
because y'all are honest and y'all are not delusional.
We said the same about you.
Yeah, I know that delusional. Yeah, I'm delusional. Yeah.
They shout me out, somebody, while we're still got a minute.
Back to KW, man. You're part of the family now. You're one of the Cortez family.
That's all right with me.
Another son. All right.
That's all right with me.
Listen,
Anytime when we head up to Dallas, we're gonna go. Yeah.
That's all right with me. I'm here.
And
Go
listen,
ahead, Polly.
we're about to wrap up. I'm shouting out.
What
It's
happened?
Mother's Day. Kane, shout out to your mother. I'm sure she's a lovely woman.
Mm,
I'm shouting
Yes.
out to my mom, who was incredible, and my wife, who is the mother of my
yeah,
three sons, who are built
yeah.
like freight trains with
Yeah,
arms and
Mother's
legs.
Day.
So
Oh, Mother's Day.
we're ready to have a
Woohoo.
great time. And
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
got to get them on the offensive line or the defensive line.
we're going to switch. We'll have an offensive line to a guard, a tackle, and a D tackle. So that's listen. Bye bye, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yes, sir.
See you later, you bum. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
find
Bye
the
bye. Bye
coffee
bye.
podcast. And don't forget, coffee. Americans really started drinking coffee after the Boston Tea Party. They threw the tea in the harbor and started drinking more coffee, and the rest is history in America, baby.
Cowboys championships run on coffee.
That's it. Cowboys and Coffee podcast. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever, Instagram. We'll catch up with you, Ken. We always appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
See
Love you guys.
you guys.